Hi, Zach Reiser here, and welcome back to another Bass Effects review video. Today I'm going to be getting into the Proton envelope filter from 3-Leaf Audio. So many people who are familiar with my channel would have seen my video of the Chromatron filter from 3-Leaf Audio. And the Chromatron was an incredibly dense and versatile filter. The Proton is a little bit different. It is designed to be a no-frills, simple to dial in, but incredibly funky envelope filter. So let's not waste any time, let's jump right into this thing. Here is my bass's dry tone Dingwall ABZ 6-string on the neck pickup with Thomastik-Infeld flats. So as I said before, the Proton, in my opinion, is really designed to be an easy-to-dial-in envelope filter. But let's talk about the controls just to make sure we are clear. So the response is essentially just the envelope sensitivity. So your bass's output is going to drastically affect how you choose to set this knob up. And consequently, I'm not going to be moving it very much in this video because right around noon is where it works well for my bass. The peak is just the overall resonance of the filter. So the higher the peak, the more pronounced the filter will be. Coupled with the peak is going to be the decay knob. So this is essentially how quickly the filter is going to fall off. When it's on its shortest settings, which is towards the left, it's very quick and snappy. When it's on its right, it's going to have kind of this more natural, slow decaying envelope. And then there is the tone knob, and don't be confused, the tone knob is not just your standard tone knob. This is really the frequency cutoff of the filter. So when you have it rolled all the way up, you're kind of rolling through all frequency ranges, and as we roll it back this way, we're gonna get darker and darker in terms of the cutoff of our filter. And then finally, we have two little toggle switches in the middle. Range is essentially setting the overall range of the filter. It's going to be lower in the down position and a little higher in the up position. I personally love the down position, so a lot of the video is going to be in the down position. And then sweep is the direction of the envelope. So we can have a more classic upwards envelope, and we also can do kind of those laser gun downward envelopes, and that is very interdependent with the tone knob. Starting with the pedal as shown. So if you get the response set to your bass when the decay is in the middle, in my opinion, this is kind of your classic envelope shape. Now, if we take the decay up a little bit higher, you'll hear that you won't hear quite as much filter effect overall because it's staying open since it's not decaying as quickly. But we can affect that with the response knob by turning the response down a little bit less so the filter isn't opening as far. Taking that decay knob to the other extreme, I am on the shortest decay setting now. So this is going to be really quick, snappy envelopes with very little decay. So even if I hold my note down, it's going to drop below that threshold pretty quick and shut the filter off. I want to show off the range of the peak control. Yet again, this is basically the resonance of your filter. So at its minimal settings, your filter is going to be very kind of on the subtle side. And then at the higher settings, it's going to be almost self-oscillating. So let's hear what that sounds like. The other fun thing that happens when you get the peak knob cranked is if you play any kind of slightly complex chord, that filter starts to almost like intermodulate with itself when it's on these fast decay settings. It sounds super cool. So the last knob that I haven't touched yet really is the tone knob, and yet again, this is really the kind of max frequency cutoff of our filter. On the lowest sides, you get that nice W filter tone. As I go higher and higher, I'm getting more full frequency. And sometimes when you get to the highest tone setting, you actually don't hear the low end of the filter quite as much. All right, let's talk about that range switch. So I've had it in the down position the entire time because for my personal preference, I love deeper, dubbier filters. But let's hear a little bit of the comparison between it in the low side and the high side. So I'll switch back and forth here, starting on the low. So the last control that I need to talk about is the sweep switch. I've had it in the upward position the whole time so far, so those classic upward envelopes, but we can switch it to the downward position and we get some of those fun kind of laser gun sounds. Again, just like every other thing on the filter, it's very interdependent depending on where you put the other knobs, so I'll tweak those a little bit as we go too. So as I said at the beginning of the video, this thing is dead simple to dial in. If you're one of those people that's tried a lot of envelope filters and you can just never get them to cooperate, I highly recommend you try the Proton. So I think we have a good overall idea of what the pedal sounds like by itself. It's time to combine it with some other fun devices. Let's start by adding just a little bit of grit for my WayHuge Pork and Pickle Smalls. It sounds like this without the Proton. And now let's run it into this kind of snappy envelope here. And now just for fun, I have actually switched the order of those two pedals because running a filter into an overdrive is very different than running an overdrive into a filter. So before I was running the WayHuge into the Proton, now I'm running the Proton into the overdrive. All right, let's get fat with this thing. So I got the Boss OC2 running in a standard octaver sound. It sounds like this. And let's run that into these settings on the Proton. So to get a little bit synthier, I'm going to switch my Boss OC2 into just the sub-octave. So it sounds like this. And I'm going to run that into another lovely 3-leaf audio device, the Doom 2 Fuzz. So those two together sound like this. Super brassy. And now let's run those into a few different settings on the Proton. So just for fun, let's get away from kind of the synth-based side of things here, and let's switch over to more of a textural use of the Proton. So I'm taking the Proton and I'm running it into a very complex, like harmonized delay setting on one of my Eventide H9s. It sounds like this by itself. And right now I'm running the Proton into that. Let's hear what that sounds like. So another example of where signal chain is very important in terms of the overall sound. Before I was running the Proton into that harmonized delay, so it was getting just a filtered sound that was being repeated. But if I flip the order and I run the delay into the Proton, well, now every little delay is actually triggering the envelope of the Proton. Very cool sound. So that is my demo of the Proton from 3Leaf Audio, an incredibly easy to dial in and very musical envelope filter. If you enjoyed this video, please like, subscribe, share, all that good stuff. It really does help me out, and I will be back very shortly with more videos. Thank you so much for watching. Bye.